Welcome back to Doing Different with Kimmie, the podcast where we explore the stories of women who choose to rewrite the script, reclaim their voice, and step boldly into the next chapter of their lives. Today's guest is someone who embodies that spirit beautifully. Cindy DiPrisco Lopez. She's a writer, blogger, journaling workshop leader, and a woman who decided that midlife wasn't an ending, it was an invitation. She always was a late bloomer, according to her, so she feels midlife at 50 was just about right for her. Engulfed by her own midlife burnout and her chronic health issues from birth, she realized taking care of everyone else was stealing her health and her joy. Welcome, Cindy. I can surely relate to that. How are you?
Good, Kim. How are you?
I'm doing good tonight, doing really good. So, Cindy, I want to start right where your story shifts. That moment approaching 50 when you felt something stirring within you. You said midlife isn't an age, it's a stage. You went back to your first love of writing and you launched your blog in 2018. And I love how you describe that it is commemorative, almost like a gift to yourself. Talk to us about when the clock strikes midlife and what writing opened up for you.
Yeah, so I had read about a woman who I believe she authored a book like 50 things to do before 50. And I thought, and it was a crazy time in my life. I was obviously in my late 40s and I was staring down 50. And at that time in my life, I realized I had just gone through probably hopefully, the hardest decade of my life. We've all been there, I think, to a certain degree, raising children, ill parents, working full time, marriage, sports. I didn't have any time for self care. Not only that, I realized at that point in my life, I don't even think when I was 21, I gave myself self care. So, to what we would call it now. And I think also self care has changed from what I thought when I was 21 to now. To me, now self care is boundaries. It's saying no. It's, not feeling guilty for saying no. When I was 21, it might have been a new hairdo or, getting a
Right.
mani pedi, and that's still great. But this point in my life, and from what I hear from many other women, it's the same thing. We all wake up and you decide, it's time for me to live my life for me and everybody else will survive.
That's right. That's right. I totally agree with that. And it was a lot different back then. And if anybody had kids while they were 18, 19, then they never had a chance to really
Mhm.
do any self-care. One thing that I admire about you is how you model courage and motion. For example, you went back to college at 40, and we discussed this before we started recording how I had gone back at 54. So that's huge. And then you started a blog at 50. You practice yoga with physical limitations. I can relate to that as well. And you encourage other women to think outside of the box and care for their mind, their body, and their soul. So tell our listeners about your just do it philosophy, because I was reading about that, and your journaling advice of how to find your joy.
Yeah, so I think that, and I've learned about myself as I've aged, that I tended to lament on things, and I can lament on things for years and decades. I don't know about you. So
Yes.
I just tried, it's not always easy, but I just try to say, to myself, just stop thinking about it, just do it. If it's something you really want to do, then do it. If it's something you really don't want to do, then don't do it and just move on. You don't have to lament about it beforehand and you don't have to feel guilty about it afterward. And another thing I started around right soon after COVID, I think it was 2021, is I started trying new things. And I preach in my journal as well as on my platform that I suggest you do something new every day, month, week, year. And it doesn't have to be a trip to Paris. It can be something really simple. Try a new coffee shop on a Saturday. Try a different genre book, whatever your thing is. If it's teas, if it's, books, whatever it might be, whatever brings you joy. If it's, that will really give you something to look forward to every day. And it's something that's just for you. And I've learned to implement that in my life. And I encourage other women to do the same. So one of the first things I did when I joined my husband in the polar plunge, which is
Oh,
something I've never done before. I never did do before. It's always in February. And granted, now we live in South Carolina, so it's not so bad like it was when we lived in New Jersey. Um, but it still can be cold. So I did that and I felt so, I motivated myself by doing that. I said, it's 2 minutes. It's no big deal. You dry off 5 seconds later. It's a lot of fun and it's for a great cause. It was for the Special Olympics. And my at that time, one of my things was on my platform is just do it, just try it. And and it turned out to be fun and I turned out being proud of myself. So
yes. And
I've
it's
done it.
good for the body.
Yes, and I've
It
done it
really is
every
good for the body.
it is, even though I really don't stay in more than about a minute.
Right?
Um, but it's just one of those things that catapulted my my confidence and motivating myself to do things outside the box and that may not be in my comfort zone.
Right, exactly. And I agree with that too. That is my motto is to just do it because if you procrastinate, I have a husband who's a procrastinator. And so when you procrastinate, it's always in the back of your mind that you got to get it done. And then something else comes and you got to get that done. And then it just piles and piles and piles and
Hmm.
you never get to do anything. So I
Yeah.
just say just and I'm talking in regards to maybe the list that, the honey to-do list, but also with us women and everything. I used to be so scared to try something new. And so, which was one of them was going back to college because I was not a high school graduate. I mean, I got my GED, but you know, that's easy to study for. But it was intimidating. It was really intimidating. But because of COVID, I was going back to school during COVID. It was a lot easier for me. And we were talking about that earlier because I was able to do it from home. And so I didn't feel like I was going to be ridiculed.
Hmm.
Um, by other students. I guess I was relating it to my actual school experience when I was younger. So that was something different that I did. And like you said, just do it, try something different. And out of my experiences is what birthed this podcast, doing different. Just do it. And I remember being interviewed, my first interview, and they asked me, you know, questions about what my philosophy was. And one of the things was exactly what yours is just do it. Because if you don't, you're never going to do it. You're just going to keep putting it off. And then you're going to, 10 years later, you're going to be, man, I wish I would have done that.
Hmm.
So the thing, I mean, we're halfway, I think I'll speak for me. I'm past midlife. I'm 60. So it's, if there's anything that I would want to do, I would just go ahead and do it other than jumping out of a plane. I will not do that.
Agreed.
Unless somebody challenges me and gives me some money, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. So, when you share your story of doing your different, what's been the most positive impact both for you and for the women watching you?
Okay, so the most positive thing I feel for me is also I hope the same for the women that I hope to inspire through my platform is, as I mentioned earlier, doing these things for yourself in whatever that means to you is empowering, and it gives you confidence, and it motivated me to empower other women. And these days, the best way to do that is by a platform, social media, etc. Um, and it just kind of fell into place when I was trying to think of a name for I knew I would wanted to go back to my love of writing, like you mentioned, and I wanted to think of a name for my blog. I was brainstorming and I was trying to think of different things. And as a kid, I have a beloved cousin. Um, he was also a bit of a teaser, but he used to call me, I was much younger than him, and he used to call me Cinderella and sometimes
Oh,
Cinderella.
oh,
So I was trying to like think of that, and I was parlaying different things, and I was like, I don't know, I was thinking all the things about Cinderella. And one of them is, when the clock strikes midnight. And I was like,
right.
oh my God,
That's it.
when the
A
clock
light
strikes
bulb went
midnight.
off.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
that was
love
fun.
that title. I really do. And
Thank
I
you.
found myself as I was reading your book or your journal, and I love the drawings in it, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But as I was writing down information and reading your bio and all of that, I thought, wow, what an awesome name. But I found myself because I posted in my groups about how we were going to be having this podcast, and I kept typing uh midnight. Oh no, it's not midnight, it's midlife. It's
Mm.
midlife. And so it's just such a poignant title because it's so true. I love that so much. It goes right along with just do it because um the clock is going, the clock is ticking, and you're at
Mhm.
midlife, and now I'm over midlife. And so, yeah, we got to just do it, ladies. So every journey has patterns. Some we keep, some we outgrow. What patterns do you notice recurring in your journey that you're ready to transform?
Well, within the past year, especially, I've found that I'm going deeper spiritually, which I understand also happens as you get older.
Yes.
Um, I do have issues with religion, and some of them are personal and some of them are just general. Um, but this year, I definitely became more faithful, and I talk to God, Jesus, Mary regularly, listen for answers, uh, and how I interpret them. And I personally believe at this point in my life, I'm enjoying the one on one relationship. And I have tried churches. Um, and at this point, I don't feel like there's anything I connect with right now. So I'm going to just continue my journey. I'm getting fulfilled out of what I'm doing.
Right?
And I'm not, again, I'm doing different, and I'm not letting anybody dictate. I have two family members that are a little bit forceful when it comes to that. And it actually, in my opinion, is a bit of a turnoff.
Yeah.
Um, and, but I'm like that with everything. Don't tell me what to do. I'll do it on
Yeah.
my own, on my own time, on my own pace, in my own way.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally understand where you're coming from with that because as a young child, I too, we had a religion that we were involved in until I was about 10. And then we changed denominations. So that made a big difference in my life. And nobody likes to be dictated to. It has to be a decision. It has to be your own choice
Mhm.
and or else it's not real and you want to be
Right,
authentic. So
right.
you have shared with me that you are available for speaking events locally and beyond, and that you're building something powerful within your journaling experience in your journaling workshops. So For listeners who want to follow your work, your writing, and your workshops, where can they connect with you?
So on Instagram and Facebook, I'm When the Clock Strikes Midlife. My blog, When the Clock Strikes Midlife. My book on Amazon, When the Clock Strikes Midlife. When you go on Amazon, you will find two books, a black one and a white one. The white one was an original one, the original one, and it's just the quotes. Um, and then I graduated and created the black book that we'll be giving away today, and that's the
Yes.
final version.
And
And
I'll show it right now. I want to show everybody. This is it right here. It's your time to shine. When the Clock Strikes Midlife is the title. It's your time to shine. And she has some beautiful, um, look at this, coloring pages. I hope that we can see it. Probably not. Here
that's
we go. There we go. And also some quotes. Um, oh, I just turned on number 22, but I'm going to go over to number 20. Never stop learning. It keeps you young. I love that one. And then there are prompts about your current mood. There's so much good and so many good things in this book. Did you do the illustrations?
I did not. That's the only thing I did not do. So I have a
Okay.
good friend that is an artist, and we met at the dog park, and we're at the time. This is again soon after COVID or around COVID time, and She said to me, What kind of artist do you like?" And I said, "I like Matisse." So all of a sudden, the next time I saw her, or she texted me or emailed me a sketch, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love it." So, if any of you are familiar with Matisse, he's got a different genre of all different kinds. But what she did was she gave me the crazy wavy hair because I usually have crazy wavy hair in this humidity down in South Carolina. And if you notice, she gave me a star earring on the left side, on my left ear. And that's because the quote that started this all is be a starfish, always find a way to regrow.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And there's another one in here of a warrior and standing in front of a castle.
Hmm.
And you're talking about how you love castles. And here is the drawing, if anybody can see it. I'm not
Hmm.
sure. Right there. I
Yeah.
absolutely love this. And also in the back of the book, she has 52 adventures. It's an idea board. And I just wish that ring light wasn't in the way, but
Yes,
there
it
you go.
looks
52
good.
adventures, hiking, gardening, music lessons, wine tasting, museum day, ice skating, and so forth. So it's just a really, really good journal with the prompts and the coloring pages and the quotes. I love it. I absolutely love it. And we're going to be giving that away today. We'll get to that in a little while. Um, but you are available for the speaking engagements, and we're going to have all of your information is going to be below in the description for people to get easy access to it. And so also, so don't forget when the clock strikes midlife.com. So now I want to ask you, Cindy, what are your primary goals for the next 1 to 3 years? And how do you envision your story growing from here? Is there another book or another journal? What are you going to do next?
So this year I started working with um, a fellow, well, she's a health coach, and we did a workshop locally. So, and I've been doing workshops at local yoga studios. So I would like to start expanding that and doing it at more locations, maybe even going a little bit further. I'm in the Myrtle Beach area, maybe going down to Charleston, doing it live. Um, I do also want to start having it available for everyone by Zoom, no matter what continent you are on.
That's great.
So I'm working on that. And speaking as I mentioned earlier, that I can lament or um, procrastinate. For decades, I've been working on a memoir since for at least a decade.
Yeah.
But it's a memoir, but it's not a memoir. It actually takes place in a very pivotal time in my life when I was 14 years old, and so many things happened within that year or so. And I'm doing it in a way that it's almost like 14-year-old me writes in my diary and then has dialogue on the stories that transpired.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so yeah, and
That
my
sounds amazing.
issue right now is, and it takes place in the 80s. So my issue right now is ending it. How am I going to end it? And I've been stuck on that for a long time.
Okay.
Because my
Does it have to
ending,
be just 14 or can you end it when you turned 15?
then it's going to be a really well, the point of a memoir usually, well, it depends. You can do it two ways. You can do it, in a specific time period of your life. Or if you're Cher, you can do two volumes and you can do your entire life from the
Oh,
time of birth. But her story.
and what did you say? If you share, is that
If
what you
you are
said?
Cher the celebrity,
Oh, share. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Right, right.
So
Oh, did
she
she
wrote
write a
a
memoir?
two-part memoir that was so large it couldn't fit in one book.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
she's an interesting character.
Yeah, I'm sure. So,
Um,
well, that's wonderful. I mean, that's going to be exciting, and everybody can follow you. Actually, they could follow you on Amazon, and then
mhm,
when something new comes out, they'll be notified. So that would
absolutely.
be really good. There are women that are listening right now who are in the middle of their own different. Maybe they're reevaluating their life. Maybe they're rebuilding. Maybe they're rediscovering themselves. What encouragement would you leave with someone who's right in the thick of it?
Do you? That is really what it comes down to. I think for a long time, I basically suppressed who I was. I mean, I didn't let anybody read my writing until I wrote that quote about the starfish about 14 years ago. I never let any human being read my personal writing. I was very active in writing in school, in grammar school. And then somewhere along the line, you sort of grow up and then you have responsibilities. And I never really did it again. I started a blog for paralegals when I was a paralegal back around the turn of the century. And that was when the internet was a dinosaur. So I was writing in that context as far as it was sort of more industry related. So I was writing, but I wasn't writing personally. And that's where I
Mhm.
started intersecting quotes into my writing, but they weren't my personal quotes, they were other people's quotes. So I've
Right.
always had an affinity for the quotes. And then when I started my blog, I started taking some of those, um, my older and my newer work, personal writing, and just pulling out what the essence of them were, and that's where I came up with my quotes.
Oh, wow. So all of these are original that are in
Yes,
the book.
yes, and
So
the
do
poems are
you
all original. Everything's original. The poems, the art, the illustrations, and the
one
quotes and
thing
affirmations.
Oh, yes, yes. And one thing that I dog-eared here, which was my favorite, and do you mind if I read page 54?
Sure, go right ahead.
You see that gray-haired woman with the crow's feet? You think she no longer knows anything or even cares? You're wrong. It's the opposite. After a lifetime of caring too much, nothing shakes her. She's earned her scars. She's fought her wars. Her heart is all she knows and cares for now. By Cindy or Cindalo.
Cindy Love.
Cindalo.
Cindy
That's
Love.
what you go by. So I thought that that was so beautiful, and that's right on the opposite page of the drawing of you or the girl that's hugging herself. And so you have done such beautiful work here. And another one I that just strikes me. Your eyesight may be blurry, but your insight becomes very clear. And that I really like that one because I've got a visual detachment in one of my eyes, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it could detach the retina, and I am seeing blurry, but my insight this year has been growing. And so I love it, Cindy. This is so good. Thank you for sending me this book. I absolutely love it. And I encourage everybody out there, if you're not the winner, when I'm going to do this book giveaway, go to Amazon. This is worth it if you like to journal, if you like to color, if you love poetry, affirmations, quotes. It's all packed into one tiny little book. It's really great. So, Cindy, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. And I know women will see themselves in what you shared today. And for our listeners, Cindy, like we said, has donated a book, her book, the journaling book, for my book giveaway. All you have to do is be the first one to like, share, follow, and comment on this episode on what encouraged you the most that Cindy spoke about today. What spoke to your heart today? And then email her once you do. Is that okay? Or would you like them to email me?
They can email me.
Okay, so we'll put that information below as well. And then once you do, and you tell her which social media platform that you watched us on today, and you give her your address, she will mail you her journal. So that's all you have to do. Like, share, follow, comment, email, and send your address and tell her, you know, what you liked. You can comment on the podcast itself as well. And then she'll get that book out to you and you're going to love it. I love it. And it's just it's about this thin right here, so it's easy to carry with you in your book bag or even in your purse. And so I really like it a lot. And so I'm also going to be sharing the giveaway on my Facebook groups that are connected to this podcast. All the emails, all the group links, the Facebook groups will be posted in the description below. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I hope that you have been encouraged to start doing something that you love again, or discover something that you always wanted to do but didn't have time because you were caring for others. Remember, Cindy's motto is just do it. I mean, just do it. Because if you don't, you might miss the opportunity to do it. So now is your time to grow. And like I said, take that plunge and just do it. And as I always say to all my followers and listeners, until next time, keep doing different. Bye bye. Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks so much, Kim.